Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady. But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time for another week. N4G Radio. This is episode 700. Don't get too excited. For May 23rd, 2022. So on the show this week, it's just me and Anthony. Hello.
Hello. It's a very sad 700.
Well, Drew's apparently in South Carolina because he's a son of a bitch. Wombat's getting shoulder
Bring
surgery.
back the old racist Drew jokes.
Yeah. Going down South Carolina. And then maybe next week we
I
have
actually
somebody...
don't know much about, honestly, I don't know much about South Carolina. I don't know which one's the shittier one.
I mean, they're about the same.
No.
I used to have uncles that lived down there, so I went down there quite a bit. That in Georgia, so it's a lot of red dirt down there, which is nasty and gets all over your clothes and your car. It's gross. Anyway, yeah, it's episode 700. You know, maybe if there weren't 699 of these outside of this, then maybe that would mean something. But it's just another number, just another day. But anyway, we can talk about video games. I played a little. You said you played some, so maybe we'll have some conversation.
Oh, I have nothing relevant. But I have games that I'm playing. Yeah, so I guess the first two are just kind of like minor. Oh, you know what? I played 4 games. What's happening?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I played a game called Lineway on Steam. It's a very minimal puzzle game, and the idea is that you just have to draw. It's like a grid, and then it tells you where you have to start. And the idea is the line has to touch or go through every square. It's a whole $1 on Steam.
Ooh.
I know. Big bucks. Fuck, is it addictive. It starts adding new mechanics, like some where you have to like grab at one point the line has to pass through a key block, and then there's a lock block that is now accessible. But if you do it in the wrong, you can't go through the lock and then grab the key. Obviously, there's blocks that are bigger than one square, so it's like a rectangle. And whatever side you enter from, you only have 2 exits because you normally would have like 3 if there's a block touching each side. It's a really well done puzzle game. And I don't know what made me want to play it, but I was just like, I'm gonna play it. And fuck, it's addictive. I'm gonna say it though, like enough with the weird calm music stuff in these games. I'm not playing it for music, and I usually just end up turning it off. You know, like, that's not relaxing to me. I also played another sort of nothing game called Tiny Lands.
Tiny
Lands.
Why does that sound familiar? I feel like I've heard of that.
It's on consoles. I played it on Steam. It's these little dioramas, and the whole thing is just find the difference. It sounds and looks cooler than it actually is. Don't get me wrong, the dioramas are really neat. The issue is that the differences are always like just like a model moved or changed in size, so they didn't have to model anything differently, really. And that's kind of like disappointing. But the little dioramas are fantastic. Yeah, it's a neat little. You rotate these 3D dioramas around to find out what's changed. There's some. The first area is kind of basic forest visuals.
Basic bitch.
But it gets into other stuff, and like that's where the game gets really cool. With the last day to use your credit cards on eShop while we talk, I'm pretty sure that or tomorrow.
It's less than. I saw a tweet this morning that it's less than 24 hours till it's done.
Oh, okay. So then today is the last day as we speak.
Yeah.
And I went through, grabbed a bunch of stuff that I had to grab still. I mean, you can still add funds to the account, but I'm just like, I don't trust them. Put in my Persona Q cartridge only to find out, because it hadn't, like, I'd opened the box, but not the actual game inside, apparently, which is very weird. Put it in, and it's a faulty cartridge. It's the first time I've ever had that happen.
When I was still buying physical media, that was like one of the first things I did, was I would always take my games home, open them, pop them in just to make sure.
Yeah, so that was fun. Sent Sega a thing, and Sega's like, yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. And it's like, well, I wouldn't have sent you an email had I not found a YouTube video from like 2 years ago where the guy was like, you told him to destroy the cartridge, and then you sent him a download code. But
Yeah.
I just ended up buying a downloadable version, even though it wasn't on sale. I just said, fuck it, and then I have it at least, and Fox
Sons
can
of
just...
bitches.
Yeah. But I've been playing Rusty Sluggers.
The hell is that?
Okay, hold on. Is it Rusty Slugger is in the name of a Nintendo character. Rusty's Real Deal Baseball is what the actual game is called.
Oh, okay.
It's weird because this character looks different in Japan. I don't know why they like Americanized the character, and it's...
Looks a little like Doraemon.
Sorry?
Doraemon, doesn't he? That's the character I'm thinking of? Kind of that style?
That's So Rusty Slugger's that. His kids
it's got that kind of the big eyes, like round face kind of look. Is it Goemon or Doraemon? Kind of that style.
Doraemon is the big cat robot thing. And then this is apparently the Japanese version.
Yeah, Doraemon is what I'm thinking. The style, not
Okay.
identical,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways,
Oh, that Japanese one is.
Are you saying it's a bit racist caricature?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Chinese look.
Yeah. It makes the American one look far more
Yeah, that's a little rough.
palatable. Yeah. I mean, it's made by a Japanese company, so I guess it's fine.
No, but if it's like mocking Chinese, and it's not okay.
I don't think. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That looks like a racist caricature of like with how they used to draw like Chinese people in like old time cartoons. That's.
I suppose, yeah.
The teeth. It's the teeth thing. It's just.
Oh, you're right. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure like
That feels wrong, man.
Oh. Yeah. So, anyways, we don't have to deal with that. Thank God. Oh. Okay. So I can. Oh God, this is uncomfortable to say. I can happily say that the Japanese racist caricatures were very much the same.
Oh wow, rough.
Yep. So, anyways, uncomfortable character design aside, that we don't have to deal with. Thank God, Rusty Slugger is far more visually appealing, and he's already ugly. The idea is that he is an ex-athlete who has opened up a sporting goods store, but the sporting goods store doesn't have a lot of people come in, so he's invested money into video games.
Okay.
And he's a baseball guy, so it's all baseball video games. And the thing is like, it's like a timing baseball game, right? Like it's like an automatic pitch, and then you're hitting the ball. And so I'm like, click, into the, you're trying to get points or whatever. He gives you a donut or whatever, and I don't remember how, and then he gives you a demo. And you're like, okay. And he tells you about how his family life is going, and it's not good. And he asks you to take care of watch over one of his kids, because he's got too many. He's got 8.
I was gonna say, the cover of this game doesn't look anything like what you're describing.
So, okay. So what happens is you're your me. You get to choose you get to choose your me, and then you go over to the game shop, the Rusty Slugger's Sports Shack. Sorry. And he's like, "Oh, buy my game." And you're like, and he's like, "Wait, I have a demo. Here you go." So you take the demo home. And one of his kids, you get to choose which one. They all look the same. Will like walk you through, and it's like, "Here you go. Like, this is how you do it." You're in the 4DS, so it's like reality. Me and the Rusty's kid go into the game system. Anyways, yeah. So you like go in, you do this little demo, and you finish all the things, and it starts marking off stamps on like a chart. And when you hit certain goals, it gives you prizes, and you get one that's like a nose hair trimmer, and you get a donut. And the whole thing is, this game is a free to start game from Nintendo. And if you just bought everything from Rusty, it's $40 for everything, which isn't bad, but you get all those prizes, and the kid tells you, "Listen, if you butter up my dad, he will inevitably cut you a deal. And I will tell you when he's gone as low as he is willing to go." So you are bartering and sweet talking and listening to this man's problems in hopes that he will discount the games.
Alrighty.
So in real world cost, the whole game costs about $40. However, if you like sweet talk him and do all this extra mini game work to earn all the games at the lowest possible price, you can buy it for $16. What a weird concept.
I was gonna say that's a little weird.
So yeah, but like, you know what? It's pretty good fucking video game. Like the first one is just like batting practice, and eventually there's like a pitching one and stuff. But like the first one's just batting practice, and it shows you like the first row. There's like a 5x5 grid of all the challenges in this batting practice minigame. And the first row, or first column, is like speed, so it gets faster and faster. Second one is like odd timing. The third one is multiple locations that they're throwing from. And then one of them is like a UFO game where it pitches to you. And the idea is that if you hit it, like where it is on the bat, like you hit up or down, and the idea is to break as many of these UFOs as they come in by hitting the ball either down or upwards. It's a really smart game, and I was like, like I've been hearing lots of things about it. Let me just, give it a shot before the shop closes so I can figure out if I want to spend money on. I did. I absolutely was like, yep, I'm going to buy this mini game, and then, I'm going to sweet talk them down to the minimum amount. And then the other one, I was like, the other game I played, I watched this I watched a lot of like retrospectives about Ratchet and Clank, and like, man, that first game and second game are just the fucking peak of that series, in my opinion. Not to say the rest of the games are bad, but like, I don't think any of the others top the first two. Like, even the remake of 1, it doesn't even come close to the original. It looks pretty, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not the same game. So I was gonna play that on PS3, and I found the fucking Sly Cooper collection on my shelf first, and went, alright, fuck it, we'll play Sly Cooper, those are a quicker game, and I'm already like 75% of the way through.
The first one or all of them?
The first one.
Okay.
Yeah, please, I literally started it yesterday. It's not that long a game. I'm gonna say it right now. Sly Cooper. Really good character design, really good lore. I like some of the concepts. That first game does not hold up.
Yeah, it's another one of those games that's also kind of eternally tied to the PS3 as well.
It's not even that. So the problem with the first Sly Cooper game, and this is a problem they solved in the later ones, one hit death.
Yeah.
Now that's not a huge concern, except that like it makes you collect 300 coins for an extra life.
That's some
That's
Donkey Kong
annoying.
64 shit.
The reason is 100 coins gives you an extra hit, 200 coins gives you 2 hits, and every 100 on top of that gives you an extra life. Now you can go and grab a bunch from the first area, and like I'll probably end up doing that again at some point. But like,
that's not fun.
No, and it's not even the levels. The levels are pretty easy. The problem is that every boss fight in the first game plays totally different than the main game. Do you remember that, people? Do you remember how fun that was? It was never fun. So the first boss fight is against Raleigh the Frog, and it's fine. It's what you'd expect from a platformer boss. The second fight, you don't actually hit the guy, mugshot. You hit mirrors in the stage while dodging gunfire. So you're running around this shitty grid with way too much space for him to see you. And when he makes eye contact, like, he shoots at you. And they're hard to dodge. And then you finish the first floor, and then you go up to this, like, $sign floor, and that is a pain in the ass. And it's just like, okay, you finish that, and then the third part of that stage is, like, way too easy. So, alright, then the third area's boss is, a fucking, rhythm game. And it's the shittiest rhythm game. I had to do it way too many times. You have to start over from the beginning every single time. Rhythm games really found their place by, having something to line up with. Instead, she just shoots the, face button symbols at you, and the camera is positioned in a way where you cannot tell when it's going to hit Sly, necessarily. Like, it's not intuitive enough. And so, I had to do that multiple fucking times. And it's just like these small little things where you're like, so much is fixed with Sly 2. Like, so much is fixed. It's of its time, though. Like, that's the thing. Like,
The
it's
PS2
so weird,
it was a weird time for platformers on the PS2.
and it's an early PS2. I think Sly Cooper might predate Jak and Daxter.
You might be right.
And I don't know. I look at Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, and those hold up better. But Sly 2 and Sly 3 are probably the more modern feeling games out of all those PS2 titles.
Nope. Jak and Daxter was first.
Oh, really?
2001, December. Sly Cooper was September 23rd, 2002.
Oh, so but it beats Ratchet and Clank. Okay. Still, it's early, for something that was owned. And I'm reminded of so I'm playing it, and I'm like, man, they were gonna make a movie out of this. And, it was one of the few things where I'm like, a movie would have made sense, but, they kept the voice of Bentley and Murray and then removed the voice of Sly, and I'm sorry, but, I looked up the voice actor for Sly Cooper, and he's done almost nothing else. And it sucks, because he's so fucking good.
I mean, also, to be fair, this was only Sucker Punch's second game, so...
The first one was Rocket, Robot on Wheels, right?
Yeah, 1999, Nintendo 64.
So the funny part is that, like, the evil villain in that game is a raccoon. Who originally was going, like, Sly was going to look more like. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a really, the best parts of that game are all the weird lore and how these villains, you know, stole from Sly's father and killed him, but then, oh fuck, so like, in more things, like, so there's racing minigame in it. Fucking hell, the learning curve on that, like, because it doesn't play like a racing game, because it's clearly using the same engine that you would have Sly using in the normal platforming levels. The way that the vehicle moves is like they've just replaced the Sly model with a vehicle, which might be the case, but like it's that. And then, yeah, there's all these little weird mini games where it's like, yeah, here's a vehicle that can shoot in multiple directions, and you're gonna this mission. You have to hit 50 chickens and avoid the bomb roosters. And you're just like, I really am glad we moved away from this. Like, man, platformers at one point just said, fuck you, and you're gonna fucking catch 50 goddamn chickens. And like, I get it, all those games had shitty things, but like, man, the PlayStation era had PlayStation 2, I should say, era had a bunch of like, yeah, this is great. We have this idea, we're gonna throw it in. And it's like, yeah, I'd rather you don't. Like, Ratchet avoided it, but like, man, there's a flashback to Jack and Daxter. There's a little game where you have to take a net and catch fish and avoid the poisonous ones as they come downstream at you. And it's just like, if you put that in a game today, I'm pretty sure you'd be fired. But yeah, man, Sly Cooper, it's still, for the most part, is a really good game. Until you get into boss fights where they're like, what if we changed it on you? Yeah, I like, man, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. It's terrible, but I'm eating it up.
I really wish they would do a nice collection of those games.
Well, I really wish they,
on modern platforms, I should confirm.
I really wish they would collect all 4 Sly Cooper games. Because having them on, I don't think that 4th one is acknowledged as much as it could be. Because it's just not part of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a good game.
Yeah, it is.
It's just one of those, like, not that I played all of it, so, but regardless, I think people were, like, ready for a new console when that game came out, because, like, that was one of those games you could buy it and get both the Vita version and the PS3 version, if you bought the PS3 disc. And it's just
crazy that Sly Cooper's been stagnant since the PlayStation 3.
Man, who did that one?
Sanzaru.
You knew that off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's because from what I remember, the story was they did it without permission, and then showed it to them, and they were so happy about it that they went ahead and did it. Like, I think that was the story behind that one.
Oh, okay. So they did the port of Secret Agent Clank to PS2. They did the Sly Collection. Then they did Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. Bentley's Hack Pack. They did the Vita versions of Sly Collection, God of War Collection. Oh, they did the actual good Sonic Boom games for the 3DS. I say that, because there's one that's bad.
Now they're doing VR games.
Yeah, well, the last one, Asgard's Wrath. And
the last 3 games they did a Marvel VR game, and they did a VR sports challenge.
Well, they did this Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Year of the Dragon. That's the reason why I didn't. And then they also did Tron Runner in between the VR sports challenge and Marvel Powers. But regardless, like, this is where, oh wow, Oh no, they have a one in Ottawa, Ontario. Huh. Okay, so anyways, the thing that disappoints me with Sony, not to get into the fucking shit, me giving them shit or whatever, but like, they High Impact, Sanzaru, like these are. Fuck, it still hurts me that High Impact is closed. There was these studios that they had doing portable games, and they were as good as the console counterparts that they were taking from. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Ratchet and Clank Size Matters is the best Ratchet and Clank game, but for it to be as good as it is on the fucking PSP was crazy. And, you know, they had another they took all these PS2 franchises and did like one last game with them. I guess Ratchet had 2 and on the PSP before they moved on to like PS3 stuff. Ratchet had Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank. Well, fuck, Jak and Daxter had the early one, which was Daxter, which was an interquel, essentially. And then they had the Frontier game, which was a PSP and then a PS2 game. And Sly had Sly 4 on PS3, and they were moving into PS4 at that time. So, like, all these really good series, these beloved series, have these games just not included anywhere. It sucks. And they're not the only ones that did it. Sony, I just call it because they're first party stuff, so there's no reason. But like Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories, and Vice City Stories, they're just gone. It sucks. These are really weird games that, I want to say are just as good, and in some ways better at times, than their counterparts. And they're just not even available. So I'm sure we'll talk about the list later on.
Oh yeah, we will.
But like, fuck, man. Like, I would love to. I'm not asking for a miracle. I just want those PSP titles, and you know, some of the PS3 stuff that like is forgotten about to come back, because they are in these series. It's not like I'm asking you for some weird obscure title, like, at all. I'm asking you for literally, hey, you put this out as a portable game, which limited the audience, which was not really here. They were on home consoles. Take those games and put them back out. And some of them have a PS2 version, so it's not like you have to redo the controls. The only one that I think doesn't have dual analog control is Daxter. So, anyways, I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but it's just like, yeah, I love all these like old platformers as much as there's some jank and like unnecessary mini games in them. But like, it is from a time in Sony where they just seem to be like firing on all cylinders, and like that shit is just gone. So yeah. That's a bummer. Sorry, I bummed myself.
Why are you gonna be
there.
such a bummer, man?
Sly Cooper, really good. Really want to get onto Sly 2 though, so I can actually start playing the game, because I think everybody forgets there's almost no stealth in that first game.
That's weird.
None. Yeah, right? Because in the second game, you sneak up and you can steal from guys, and you don't do that in the first game. You can't hide under tables. The only thing you have is barrels and avoiding flashlights. And if you walk up to an enemy and hit him, the alarm just kind of goes off because he sees you for a split second, because, I don't know, they just sense you're there. It's a very odd game to play, knowing what that series becomes and having that knowledge and then trying to go back to the first game. I'm like, well, it's fucking okay. But Panda King, I'm currently getting ready to fight him, and fuck, man, like, again, the lore is some of the best. But that's it for me. Like, I mean, it's a lot of weird shit, but again, nothing modern.
Oh, well, I mean, it's kind of a quiet time right now anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Oh, alright. So I'll go through some stuff. Let me think. What's the quickest way to go through this? So I'm gonna go through smaller games first. Let me scroll up here. So the indie games this week I checked out was Divination Console Edition. That's a weird game. It's almost like a puzzle game mixed with a visual novel, where you're this like pair of hands, and you're giving people divination, and then you do this little puzzle with these blocks to give them their almost like a fortune teller reading. I do like the art style. I think it's pretty cool, but just not my kind of game. Behind Closed Doors, A Developer's Tale is a like pixelated, side-scrolling, narrative-driven game. You start off like waking up, brushing your teeth, going to work. I think my favorite part is when I got to work, I talked to everybody like at the place, and like the third guy I talked to, the only thing he'll say to you is, "I hate my job," and for some reason that was just really funny to me. But then like you sit down at your computer and you do some coding, like you reply to emails, you have to tap the A button like you're pretending to reply to the emails, and then you go in and write code by tapping the A button, and then you can actually go in and play your game. It's interesting. Nirvana Pilot Yumi. So this game apparently already exists on the Switch, and it's just now coming to Xbox. The difference between the Switch and the Xbox version, and I'm sure you'll be able to pick up on it real quick, is the Switch version is rated M. The Xbox version is rated T. So do with that what you will.
This is like I'm living in backwards land.
Yeah, it's weird. But the gameplay itself is just you like connect with somebody and then you pilot this ship left, right, and jump, and like it's fast and it's all about reflex kind of stuff. The stuff in between is like dating stuff, and it's kind of weird.
Okay, so I'm done with I don't get it. I don't understand it, and someone has to explain to me, why does everything have to have some sort of weird dating sim in between?
Oh, did you see the big news this week?
So hold on. The reason why I ask is because in my I'm gonna grab DLC for games I have. I realized Fire Emblem didn't always have some weird dating sim in it.
No.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they added it.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. You think that doesn't make sense? Did you see the news this week? I didn't cover it in the news, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. They're making a dating sim for Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I saw that. I get it, but the joke is old people. It's the... What is it? There was another one that did something similar to that. It was like a game or something where it was it's a dating sim, but it's a joke. But at the end of the day, it's still a dating sim. So what?
Are you talking about the pigeon one or How to Fuck Boyfriend?
The pigeon one is definitely the first of the comedic ones. But no, there was one where it was like a self-parody, and I went, is it though?
I don't know. It's just, as soon as I see those, there are so many, the way games are made today, there are so many game styles that I immediately just stop. I'm like, this is
so
not for me.
There's a couple here. Okay, that one's pretty good. Date Almost Anything Simulator.
Oh, that's fair. It's like
that one. It's got me. This is the one I remember now. I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
Oh yeah,
that's the one I was thinking of.
KFC game or whatever.
Yeah. I mean Dream Daddy, I guess, but I'd argue that was just a different audience that wasn't getting content to them, you know?
Yeah, sure.
The other one, but it wasn't based, because I remember this one too, but it's not based off of really anything, but it's Sucker for Love First Date, which is you're dating Cthulhu.
Oh.
Or something like that, and you're just like...
Okay.
You just kind of stare off into space and go, yeah...
I mean, it makes sense when you pull in the stereotype of of gamers and all that stuff, but like, it's just not. I don't care.
It's like the joke dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next game I played does not have any dating simulation in it, and I was actually excited to play it because it looks cool. It's called They Always Run. It's a 2D side-scrolling action game. And the hook is that you play a bounty hunter who has a third arm on his back. And how they pull this into the gameplay is that he can use the third arm with like a different button to parry combat moves, as well as like grab enemies. And that third arm has like 3 charges, and you build those charges up by performing, parries and combos and things like that. And it was a very interesting concept, but then I started playing it, and the tutorial just is like so complicated and so complex, and they're throwing like all of these systems at you and these different ways to do moves, and I'm like, I kind of just want this to be a simple side scroller. But the tutorial just goes through so many systems and mechanics that I kind of just like zoned out really quick. But I do like it plays really well. I like the way it looks. It's got kind of a standard pixelated side-scrolling look to it, and it's interesting. So if you're looking for something a little more complex, I think that would be a good one to pick up. And then the last thing I played was this Rattle-like game, The Legend of the Dragonflame High School Collection. Looks like it wants to be River City Ransom, but it's just not.
Okay, so I saw that for like Switch, and I looked at it and I went, this looks like a really bad River City Ransom.
It's exactly what it is. It's a really bad River City Ransom. It's exactly what it is. For my retro stuff this week, I pulled out a bunch of Xbox original games that were backwards compatible because I don't have my original Xbox hooked up. Because I don't have any component cables going into my OLED. So I was just going to play stuff that was backwards compatible on the 360, but not backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So I booted up a couple games. I checked out Batman Begins, because I remember that being a movie game that when it came out, we were all like, this is better than it should be. And it's not bad.
It's I've heard described as Proto Arkham.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that combat system in it, but it is also like Sly Cooper, a game of that time where the controls are not as good as you want them to be. So it definitely takes a little while to get used to. The next game, I don't know if you remember this, back in the days of when Midway was pumping out a bunch of shit, Freaky Flyers, which is a like airplane racing game, kind of in the same vein as a Mario Kart style, with really big.
I remember the logo only, which was like, was it black and white and had like a really weird erratic font?
No, it's not black and white.
Oh, am I?
So it's colorful.
This is not the game I thought it was. Never mind. I know which. Now I look at it. What the fuck game was I thinking of?
I don't know. Black and white. I don't know that one.
Maybe.
The whole reason.
Anyways, yeah, go ahead. Continue.
It's actually not bad. It actually holds up fairly well. Like, controls pretty well. It's got some interesting art style. The levels are huge. So I had some fun playing that. The whole reason I started doing this is because I wanted to get to the Suffering, because I had not played the Suffering in a long time.
That's a very weird walk to the Suffering.
Well, all of my discs are in alphabetical order. So I started with Batman Begins. I went to Freaky Flyers, and unfortunately I ended because I got distracted by something else. The last game I played was Mortal Kombat Armageddon. I skipped over Deception, went to Armageddon, and I forgot that Mortal Kombat Armageddon had a create a character.
Yeah, but you can only make like one, if I'm correct.
Well, you can only create one, and all of the stuff to customize them you have to unlock by playing and collecting coins. So, I mean, it's
also,
interesting.
The game I think I'm thinking of was Freak Style.
Oh, that motorcycle
That's
racing?
the motorcycle game, yeah. But that's the font I was thinking of. If it has a very erratic, sort of like graffiti-esque font.
God, there were so many of those games in that era.
Dude, that's a reason. So I just put the font. Honestly, Freaky Flyers, I think I was thinking this stupid fucking cover too, which he's not a guy flying. Clearly, he's like doing the Superman off of a motorcycle, but that is the game I was thinking of.
Oh God, if I remember correctly, Freakstyle was one of the not very good of those games.
Hey, EA Big got a greatest hits out of it.
I mean, it was another game with Click Click Boom on the soundtrack.
Oh shit, my saliva.
Yeah, like how many games of that era had that song on the soundtrack?
Yeah, that and Dragula.
Ugh.
I fucking
and Let the Bodies Hit
Dragula.
the Floor.
Okay, so I'm. Oh man, here's a bummer story. All right, so my friend and I like we've been friends since, oh my God, like kindergarten. And I moved away, and you know, he stayed in the city he's in. And we went to this like old movie store. It's closing, so it was there for like almost 30 years. And so we go in there, and fucking Dragula plays while we're in there.
Sure.
And it's just like, yep. This is a dying store already.
Yeah.
This feels very much of the time. They still had VHS tapes.
Ugh.
Some. Very few, but some. We bought some CDs from them. They had like almost none of their games left. This used to be the place to rent stuff from because they had it forever. For the most part. And buy movies for cheap and stuff. But like, yeah, it's just, you mentioned all those songs. I mentioned Dragula, and that just popped into my head. Yes, that was the only time I think I've ever heard it in the wild, not played for a joke.
Oh my God. I remember that era of like, you want to hear the funny thing? So I went to E3 in 2002, which was the year Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance was coming out. And it was such an era of that. So if you remember, Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance had a co-marketing deal with the band Edema. And they did like the title song, the Deadly Alliance title song. And when I went to E3 in 2002, which was the first time I met Ed Boon, great person, they were playing a concert at E3 so I saw Edema in concert at E3 in 2002 to promote Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
Wow.
That era was all that shit. Those radio friendly metal bands.
So oh God. Do you remember Test Drive? The PS2 Test Drive game that was like city racing?
Yeah.
Well, I asked that because like if you look that up, a lot of people don't know what the hell I'm talking about because there was like multiple Test Drive games.
Yes, there were.
This is the one that has the graffiti font specifically on the cover. But it has a different name overseas. Test Drive Overdrive is the name of it, like everywhere else in the world. The Brotherhood of Speed.
Yeah, that was the PlayStation 2 Xbox era game, Test Drive.
Yes, that is what made me a fan of Sly. Like I fucking hate myself, and it doesn't have click click boom in it.
See, it feels wrong for a game of that era not to have click click boom.
It has. Oh my God! Give me a second.
I mean, there's so many of those bands from that era.
No, but it is Saliva. It's from that same album.
Because wasn't that also the intro track for BMX XXX? Was Click Click
dude,
Boom?
Don't ask me fucking anything about that movie. It was Lackluster. That's what they got in in Test Drive. Oh my God! Yeah, every fucking. I have to read the soundtrack now because it's so fucking. Oh, god damn it. It's so cringy. Yeah, like, they had Bubba Sparks in there.
Okay.
Yep. DMX, We Right Here.
I mean, that tracks.
Two songs by the band Crud. A bunch of Junkie XL tracks.
Of course there was a band from that era called Crud.
Yeah.
Because of course there was.
2 Job Rule tracks.
Yeah.
2... Oh my god, Click Click Boom is in the soundtrack!
See, I told you it's in every single game from that era.
Let's say 2 Moby tracks, and then just the most random one is like Young MC Know How. What?
Yeah, that's weird. Young MC wasn't relevant at that time.
No, and not that song.
Yeah, how's
You know?
it not Funky Cold Medina or, you know?
Yeah, Funky Cold Medina was a little before fucking 2002.
Well, I mean, most Young MC tracks were before 2000.
That's not Young MC.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Young
You're
MC
thinking
was.
of-
You know what? You know what? Here's the funky thing. You know what I think of when you say Young MC now? Is the Taco Bell song.
Oh.
So Young MC did a song for Taco Bell. He's like, "I'm Young MC. I got a story to tell. I just got a new cup from Taco Bell.
Oh no, he did.
5 cups in all."
No. I thought maybe I'm like, please tell me. I'm like, please tell me you're confusing him with MC Hammer, because I know MC Hammer did commercials for Taco Bell.
Nope. Young MC's Taco Bell song. Yeah, 1990, baby. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. But anyway, I do have 2 somewhat bigger games to talk about. So the first one I'm reviewing, I did not know what this game was, so you cannot give me shit. So they sent a code over for a game called Dolmen. Dolmen. And it looked
I legitimately, give me a minute. Maybe I remember this game.
It just came out. Like, literally just came out.
It's roguelike, isn't it?
Nope, it's not a roguelike.
Oh, shit!
It's a Souls-like.
Oh.
So, it was like, so I saw like the screenshots and the videos. I was like, oh.
Ooh, that's not good.
What's that?
Apparently this game.
Yeah, so like it came in, I was like, oh man, this looks like a cool, like
The way you said
inspired.
it. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I was like all excited. I was like, oh man, like this is like a Cthulhu inspired action adventure game. Like that's gonna be cool. And then I started playing it, and it was giving me tutorials with things on the ground. And then it taught me about the attacking with the triggers and my stamina bar. And then the first time I died, I was like, oh, I gotta go back. I gotta do a corpse run. And I'm just like, fuck. This is Souls game, isn't it?
It's got mostly negative reviews on Steam.
So the problem, and here's the thing, and I know there's probably not a lot of developers that listen to this show, but here's my take. I get that you want to capitalize on the Souls game, but if you're not doing something that is making your game stand out, or your game is not, like, really, really, really good, and nothing against this game, it's perfectly serviceable. It's fine. It plays fine. Like, the enemies are somewhat interesting. The combat feels okay. It's not very weighty. But, like, if you're going to do a Souls game, if you're going to take a swing at the king, you gotta knock the king down. Otherwise, you're just going to get lost.
I think the only one... So there's 2 that are remembered.
Well, Lords of the
And,
Fallen's remembered because it was, like, one of the first clones.
Okay, so there's 3, but the other one of them is that studio's other game, which is give me a second, I can never remember
Which
the Surge.
studio? Oh, the Surge, yeah, the Surge is
And that's because
popular,
that's because they were like, yeah, we're not going to do a gothic looking title.
Yeah, it's futuristic.
We're not
Yeah,
futuristic. So
it even has a Western
That
DLC, which is cool.
so that studio apparently the Surge 2 is much better than the Surge 1.
Yes, it is.
And so that studio was like, we are not going to just do Souls. We did that before. It was fine, but we're doing it with a different coat of paint.
Well, they also had
Alright.
a hook to that game, if you remember, where you could
Which is the
attack the
limbs.
body part, and then take them off
So-
and put them on yourself.
So they did enough there. Like even if you considered it like a clone, it's like, yeah, but they've also like tried to. I think they're fine with being a clone. You know, it's not like, and they never brandished themselves as a Souls-like.
No.
You know, these studios that pop up and are like, it's a Souls-like. Don't mention better games in your marketing.
No, don't do that. That's
Don't be like, if it's a platformer, you don't call it a Mario-like for a reason.
My new fighting
Because
game
you're
is a
gonna be-
Mortal Kombat-like.
Yeah, a game like Street Fighter. How many of those were successful? That's what I thought. God. So, yeah, and the other one is Mortal Shell. And Mortal Shell was weird. And
Mortal Shell was very
like
weird.
and it looks like Dark Souls, which is crazy because I would have figured that would have been the killer, but like people remember that because it was different. Like I've only heard positive conversations about Mortal Shell.
Yeah.
You know, it's got some weird lore and it's still, you know, you take over different bodies and stuff. Like, all right. You know, like nobody remembers that game I played that I can't even remember the name
Immortal
of.
Unchained.
Mortal Unchained. That's, yep. Like,
The gun-based Dark Souls.
yeah. And that hook sucked because what do guns need? Ammo.
Yeah, this Dolmen has both melee and ranged weapon combat, and you have to charge your gun with stuff you get from the enemies, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. It's just so uninspired, and you play it, and you're just like, okay, so there are like much better versions of what you're trying to put out here. So what was your thought process here? I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, I don't think that game. I don't think people are going to be talking about that game next week. That's kind of my point to that.
Okay, so, alright. Okay. So I'm like, I wonder what that team did. Because, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, Immortal Unchained was not amazing, but it was fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are they doing now? So other release games, they have Westmark Manor, which is a mind-bending survival horror game with plenty of exploration. And Bloodsports TV is a co-op top-down hero defense game. That's from 2015, so... Westmark Manor has a mixed review on Steam. Okay, so these are games that they released. They have a pretty meh track record. So what are they working on? Minimal Effect is a story-driven space adventure with a colorful cast of characters on a quest to save the galaxy once again and get into a lot of space alien combat. It's comedic Mass Effect.
Huh. Okay.
Alright. Got a little bit of a Rick and Morty vibe in the artwork. You know, that adult animation artwork style.
Sure,
They're working
sure.
on that. You're like, okay. Minimal Effect. I get it. Fine joke. Evil v Evil is a co-op first-person vampire shooter with a player-directed, continuously updated storyline. Can't imagine this working out very well.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I think developers are really
Wait.
having a hard time with is multiplayer.
Wait. This is the kicker, Ken. Block and Load 2 is a team-based player versus player hero shooter
Oh, god damn it.
where players have to think on their feet and survive in arenas they can build up, destroy, and fill with turrets, teleporters, boosters, and more. This
Okay.
studio has no original ideas!
Maybe they should maybe it should just be a port studio at that point.
Ah, fucking Christ.
That's the problem,
Like,
is everybody's
guys.
chasing the dragon nowadays, and it's just not working for them. Except, I'm going to segue with that. I played Multiverses.
Go on.
This is the new WB free-to-play game that is using their
Every
WB
piece of license.
Yeah,
every
licensed
piece of
character.
license they owned.
Basically, Taz the Tasmanian Devil versus Wonder Woman. You get the idea. This game plays really fucking good. Like, it's the best playing platform fighter I've ever played. Like, it feels great. I do not like the free-to-play trappings. Like, as soon as I played it, I was like, okay, I would play the shit out of this game. I really like the art style. I like the levels. Unlike Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, all the characters are voiced. Like, they have interactions. The team that worked on this clearly has a love for these characters because they have so many like specific moves. Like one of Shaggy's moves is he pulls a sandwich out and he could throw it at you, and then he could pick it back up and throw it at you again, or he can eat it. Like, this game is so cool. I will play this game when it comes out. I don't like free-to-play games, and I don't care much for platform fighters, but this one is really good. And I think you should check it out when it goes into open beta or when it goes out, because it's free to play. So, it does look like the menu was vomited upon. Like, there's just so much crap in there, which is pretty standard with free to play games. I don't know if you've ever played Fortnite, but I really hate the menu system in Fortnite. But man, when you get into a game and you're actually playing it, it is so much fun. Like, I don't know. I really, really enjoy it. So, that's a game that's not exactly an original idea, but the fact that I might be able to play like Batman versus Rick, that's pretty interesting to me, and that it plays really, really well is just it's a cherry on top. So,
yeah, I mean, it can't be worse than the Nickelodeon one.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon one, like, I want to love it so much. It's got Ren and Stimpy and Powder Toast.
I just want to say, I'm not shitting on it because of the devs. I'm saying it because Nickelodeon doesn't want to spend any money on their games.
No, they don't.
This has been a consistent issue. Because, like, their last kart racer was pretty decent, except that, like, who is this for? Because it has zero character. Like, that was consistently the issue. They all their games have all these characters, yet none of them are like their character. It doesn't make any sense. Fucking that! Oh god, have you seen the ad for the weird Apple Arcade crossover racer?
Oh, the one with Family Guy and Bob's Burgers and shit?
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, okay, yeah, like, Hank Hill is racing, sure, I suppose. They have voice clips. I think they're just reused from the shows, but... Like the old... You remember the old
South Park games? They did that. They used voice clips from the show.
Yeah, but I'm talking about something that's actually decent, potentially. Those old South Park games.
South Park Rally was not a good video game.
No, none of those South Park games were
Chef's Love Shack was great.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I played the crap out of that game.
That does not mean it was good. You played the crap out of Eternal Champions.
Yeah, but I never told you that was a good game. I told you I liked that game.
Fucking, yeah, but you're a bad choice of judgment. Like, yeah, no, you're not.
I like Chef's Love Shack. I remember liking that game. And thinking it was the only thing I thought was lacking about that game was the amount of content that it had, like the questions. But as a game itself, I enjoyed it.
It ran. 5 out of 10.
It ran 5 out of 10. Alright, that's it. I did want to mention a couple things movie-wise that I checked out this week. If you haven't seen it yet, everybody should go watch that Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on Disney+. That thing is a modern-day Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it's so good. Disney truly got some really good cameos in that movie that are not Disney licenses.
There's a part in that. I have not seen the movie, but somebody told me about it, and I went, "You're fucking me, right?" Like,
you're talking about Ugly Something?
No, I'm talking about Peter Pan.
Yes, the Peter Pan character in that movie is fucked up, Anthony. It's so awesome.
You know why I find that bothersome?
Go on.
You know why?
Go on.
That's what happened to the real actor.
Oh.
Who fucking died
Yeah.
because of a drug addiction.
I will tell you, I'll give you...
He became too old, and nobody would hire him, and he basically became homeless and died alone. And it's kind of Disney's fault, so when Disney puts out a movie and kind of makes fun of that, like, I get it, but you're a piece of shit.
So the movie literally starts, this gives you a tone for the humor. The movie literally starts saying, you know, like, hey, do you remember Chip and Dale? And they reference the dancers. Just giving you kind of a palette.
Listen, the rest of it I don't give a shit about the sense of humor, but like, if you're the fault of somebody's downfall and then you make fun of them, you're kind of fucking terrible. Yeah. Even though I get it, it's a company now, not a person, but still.
Yeah, I still think the movie is incredible. There's so much in there that, like, there are so many cameos. And I'm not even just talking about Disney stuff. There's cameos in there that you will be shocked that show up.
Random question. Is it the Coca-Cola bear?
I think it is.
I thought so.
Like his henchman? Yeah. I think it's the Coca-Cola bear. Also, there's a lot of Seth Rogen jokes in this movie because he's in it. And there's a whole scene of just him laughing as different characters, and it's pretty fucking amazing.
I still can't wait for him to play Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I can't wait for Donkey Kong just to be like...
It's one of the best casting things. Yeah, his fucking laugh, I'm like, that's perfect for Donkey Kong.
Yeah. No, you should watch the Chip and Dale movie. It's really, really good.
I will. When I heard about that, I'm like, that just puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't mean to be like a fucking... martyr for this shit. It's just like...
Also, Jackass 4.5 is out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, 4.5.
I gotta watch that.
It's on Netflix. And wow, some of the stuff they cut out of that movie is really good. Whew. Man. Anyway. I also tweeted that Munchies was streaming on Tubi, and I know that movie might be too old for you. But it was basically in the time when Gremlins was huge, so it was kind of like a dollar store version of Gremlins.
Yeah, there's 1,000 of those.
Yeah, but this one for some reason... Critters was another one, but they made 7 Critters movies. Munchies only got one movie, and oh my god, I watched it last night, and... holy shit. That movie is deliciously 80s. And I truly believe there's only 1 or 2 people in that movie that have made more than one movie, in my opinion. So. Alright. Let's jump into what's coming out this week. Start with Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. We got Floppy Nights. Injection Pi 23 Ars Regia, whatever that is. Amazing Superhero Squad, Blow and Fly. Sniper Elite 5, which I'm also playing, but I can't tell you about until next week. Arcade Spirits, the new challengers. KO the Kangaroo, which I'm also playing, but can't tell you about until next week. My Little Pony, A Maritime Bay Adventure, Remote Life. And on the PlayStation side, a lot of the same stuff. Actually, all the same stuff. There's nothing different on PlayStation 5. Now go to PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Basically the same stuff. We're also getting Arcade Archives Plotting, Moolander, which is a cow Metroidvania. Pac-Man.
All right, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, Moolander. It also has.
The only reason why they couldn't call Gato Roboto Meowtroid was because Meowtroid was used in WarioWare. I'm almost certain of it.
Oh, speaking of, those guys are making a new game. I would definitely play that.
Yeah, I'm kind of into whatever that team does.
Yeah, and it looks cool. Gunbrella, that looks cool. Pac-Man Museum Plus, which I think is coming to Game Pass. Roller Champions, remember that game? The free-to-play Ubisoft rollerblading game. That's coming out this week.
Dude, I don't remember shit. Free-to-play multiplayer, 100 people, fucking battle royale, team versus hero shooter. Dude, as soon as those, like you with Rogue, free-to-play fucking multiplayer, my fucking eyes glaze over. Like, ugh.
I get it.
No.
I get it.
Because also, like, unlike a Rogue game, like, and you'll agree with me on this, like, multiplayer kind of requires other people to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, why would I invest in this when, like...
It's one of the reasons why I stopped playing
aren't going to play it.
Evil Dead so quickly is because, like, I'm not interested in playing multiplayer. So, what am I going to do when I go through the challenges, you know? Play with bots? That's not very fun. And Zombo Buster Advance, whatever that is. Kick over to the Switch. We got Galacticon Eastward, I'm assuming is a physical release. Why would that be on here?
I don't know, but I wouldn't suggest that game to anybody.
Oh, well, there it is. Toucan Ranbu Warriors. Ogre Console Edition making its way over to Switch. Arcade Archives Plotting. Beatus Creation Solitaire. I Exercise Ver Competo. Mischief Dungeon Life. Pixel Game Maker Series Kingdom Fighter. Pride Dance Out and Proud. Twin Blades of the Three Kingdoms. Underland The Climb. Freezer Pops. And that looks like that's it for Nintendo Switch. No Otome cross-dressing games this week. That was last week. So, there's your releases for the week. Are you excited? These are the slow times. Alright, news. I'm going to start with something I just saw on a forum. And it goes back to, there's a book out called The History of Games. And in that, there is a quote from Ryan Payton working on Metal Gear Solid 4. Do you remember the controversy when that game came out about it being a Sony exclusive and why it never came to Xbox 360?
Honestly, I do not.
Okay, so basically
normally, I remember some vague thing, but I don't remember anybody complaining because I just think of, like, I thought at that point in time, I was like, I think it might just be a consistent thing of being on PlayStation.
So, he made a comment in here that it was not an exclusive deal, no deals were made, and that Kojima just chose not to port it to the 360 because he wasn't ready to make the jump. But the bosses would have definitely approved it had he wanted to do it. So it wasn't like a paid exclusive. So I just found that interesting. So, alright. Let me kick into the news. I got lots of bullet points here. I'm going to start with the one you'll roll your eyes at first, and then I'll just move
Before
on.
we move on, though, like, at the same time, like, I'm sure the bosses would have okayed it, but how big is that fucking game? You
Not
know
only,
what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like, how many, 17 DVDs of shit? Because it doesn't... At that time... Yeah. God. At that time, Xbox really didn't install a lot of data to the hard drive.
Yeah, there were certain games, like, what was it, Halo 3 or... One of the Halos did it.
It's to me, like, fine, but I just can't see it happening just because of the 360 choosing DVDs.
Let me tell you this, though. I am very pissed that it didn't happen, because I'd almost guarantee you that if it had, we could play that game on modern consoles right now.
Yeah, probably.
Because Konami's made pretty much every Xbox 360 game backwards compatible. So we would have gotten Metal Gear Solid 4 on backwards compatible for Xbox 360, whereas now that game is literally only playable if you have a PlayStation 3.
Enjoy that 4-hour install order.
Yeah. Man,
or
that's
smoke cigarettes.
So miserable that game is so hard to play. As big as... See, there's a lot of games that aren't very big. That game is huge. And nobody's brought it back. This is crazy to me. Okay, now I'm going to do my news story that's going to make you roll your eyes, but I'll make it quick. The Overwatch 2 beta ended. And now Blizzard has put out a release saying, save the date. June 16th will be the next update for Overwatch 2. So maybe characters, maybe a new beta, maybe a console beta. I don't know. But that's the next date. That's around that E3 time.
Can I get the diversity chart for that character, please?
Let's get that diversity chart. All right. Like I said, I'd make it quick. I'm moving on. Your best friend Keiji Inafune is back. Are you excited?
This actually isn't true.
No, it actually is true. They said it, they deconfirmed it, and then they reconfirmed it. It's true. He's making NFTs called Beastroids.
Hold on.
I saw the official release.
I don't believe you.
There's a video out there of the official release. I know I saw it, because I saw it. You're right. They did debunk it. And then, 3 days ago, Nintendo Wire. Yep.
Oh my god.
It's real. There's the video from Amy, PF Marketplace.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it. I'm fucking... This is fucking bullshit. Jesus Christ. He's a very good artist. But he is the epitome of, like, somehow failing upwards because everybody else left.
I know.
So, like, to explain, the person that was in charge of Mega Man fucking left, and they just were like, you do it. Like, what? He was the artist. He was brought on, like, late into the original Mega Man to just draw the characters so they had official artwork. And somehow, he's become king shit of fuck mountain. And it's just like, I don't get it.
Hey, Mighty Number 9 was a classic. Don't you remember that level where you're chasing...
Mighty Number 9.
Where you're chasing the boss through the level? Remember that one?
His weird involvement with Gunvolt somehow. And... Remember how he did Mighty Number 9? Whatever happened to that other game he was working on?
The Mega Man Legends clone?
Yeah! Red Ash. Whatever happened to that?
Yeah.
Did he kind of just left that fucking team to do Recore. Because his studio was literally just the ideas, not the actual work.
Yeah, that's why it's called Concept.
Yeah, he can fuck himself. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
he almost, like, ruined Capcom, right? Like, it was his idea to, like, Americanize everything.
Wasn't he also behind Dead Rising?
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, fine, but, like, they leaned into that. And he was also behind Bionic Commando and...
Lost Planet,
and, like... What is Lost Planet as a series? The first game is completely different from the second game, which is completely different from the third game. None of them fucking... other than... Hey, kind of vague shooting elements are similar.
Dude, Lost Planet 2 is essentially Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. I know.
The third one's made by the guys who made...
He's the reason why... And listen, I like DMC, but, like, he's the reason why DMC exists. He said, like, nobody wants the Japanese stuff. We have to Americanize.
Legendary the Box. That's the developers that did
Lost
Planet 3.
Well,
Lost Planet 3 is great. 3,
yeah, but Legendary the Box isn't.
No, Legendary the Box is terrible.
And Turning Point.
That's Fall of Liberty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool concepts, bad games.
But it's just like, yeah, so this guy fucking just... Him and Yuji Naka, like, the more I hear about, like, all the behind-the-scenes shit, I'm like, wow, you guys are way too full of yourselves, and be, like, partially the reason why, like, your companies were doing bad. And you weren't a higher-up. The higher-ups respected you too much.
There's a lot of that in kind of that late 90s, late 80s, early 90s Japanese game scene. Like, Yu Suzuki didn't make a game for like 20 years. And but at the same time, you're like, he made Virtua Fighter. You know what I mean? So,
when games didn't have an established playable canon, Yu Suzuki shined. But as we realized, no, there's certain things we should do right, he kind of fell out of grace because he was like not doing things that made sense. Right? When it's chaos and you have some sense of like, no, this is how it should go, you look like the best, designer. But as we realize there's better ways to do things and you hold on to your old methods, you're not that same person anymore. We've moved past you.
It's also famously known that he doesn't actually play video games. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, in a world where 3D games don't exist, Space Harrier looks amazing. But it falls apart pretty quickly when you realize, like, oh, there are better ways to do this. Like, Star Fox kind of makes Space Harrier look like shit. You know?
Sure.
And it's like, 3D fighting games weren't really being done. And I'm not a huge Tekken fan. I still prefer Virtua Fighter. But, like, there's a reason why Tekken's around.
Yeah.
It clearly made more sense to people and felt better to play.
What about the Battle Arena Toshinden?
Battle Arena Toshinden, whatever.
They made 3 of them?
I don't give a shit. I never played them. I don't hear people always asking for them either. I hear more people other than you ask for Eternal Champions, but it's just because of the gore than I do anybody go, remember Toshinden? We should get another one of those.
Dude, Toshinden...
Anyways, my point is, like, a lot of these fucking people are just nightmares. Like, man. Yuji Naka. I've heard a story about who's the guy that left Sega for Xbox? Was that Stoller?
Oh, Bernie Stoller, yeah. No. Peter Moore.
Peter Moore told Yuji Naka to fuck off.
I mean, Peter Moore is a boss. I ain't gonna lie.
So Sega is failing. Peter Moore and the American side knows this. They go to the Japanese side and they're like, look, we've done our market research and this is what people think of Sega in comparison to like the other brands, right? And Yuji Naka says that they said, people were like, yeah, Sega's like the grandpa that might have been cool at one point, but like it's not cool anymore. And Yuji Naka took offense to that and said that he must be lying. And got into Peter Moore's face, and Peter Moore told the translator, tell him to fuck off. And the translator apparently said, there's not a phrase that really, can say that. And he's like, oh, I know there is. And walked away. And it's just like, yeah, Yuji Naka, man, like, he's a big reason why Sega isn't in the fucking marketplace anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. Do I think that Square Enix fucked him on Bound Wonderworld? Probably.
That sounds like a Square Enix-ass thing to do.
Yeah, they put it out and said it was a good game, so clearly they're out of their fucking minds. But
they're still saying it's a good game. They say they stand behind it. I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. But like he's the reason why there wasn't a 3D Sonic on the Saturn.
Yeah, I know that story. Yeah.
So he took Sonic Team, and while Sega is trying to figure out what the fuck to do, he just burned money at Sonic Team to fucking do whatever he wanted, and so Keiji Inafune doing fucking NFTs, I guess, isn't surprising to me. It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this man has no idea of his public perception.
Alright, let's do some quick hits. This came out over the weekend. NBC Universal apparently was in talks to buy EA, and it fell apart at the last minute. So,
Do we know why? Was that released?
I don't
No.
know why it fell apart, but I know that NBC Universal was not the only company interested, and this is what Phil Spencer was talking about back when they bought Activision. The other three parties involved: Apple, Amazon, and Disney. So,
Very weird. Also, I'm just going to say, I'm so tired when I see names. Because Universal was a weird one, because it was Vivendi Universal. Because Vivendi ended up buying the Universal stuff. And then Vivendi kind of got rid of it all. So I don't blame Universal for that one. But, like, how many times has Disney decided to open up studios and then fucking close them? Don't fucking get involved. I'm so tired of that. Like, people lose their goddamn jobs. And it's not like people going to Google and going, oh, it's gonna be great. When everybody else is like, this sounds like a terrible idea. No, this is like you don't have a choice. You already work here. And if you want to keep your job, well, how you work for a shitty overlord that's gonna potentially fire you in a year. Because they see no value in making video games, because that's the thing that fucking Disney has done multiple times. Like, Disney Infinity was selling so good, and they were like, yeah, it's not selling enough, though. It's maddening.
Speaking of acquisitions, according to Microsoft, the Activision acquisition is moving much faster than expected. They're at the end of the beginning. They still hope to have it done by the end of the year, but probably spring of next year.
Was it? I just had a vision of all the Microsoft people. They're like, it's going quicker than expected. It's because they have to, like, harvest some rare minerals for their fucking big ceremony that they have to do to remove the demon Bobby Kotick from the building.
Yeah.
Exorcism.
You gotta get the right ingredients. You gotta consult the,
You have to go into deep Mayan temples and
there's a
get these
ancient
rare
scrolls
artifacts
on the walls that teach you the spell.
Find
you
out
need to
Bobby
cast.
Kotick's real name.
Yeah. You have to carve it into like a virgin or something. I don't know.
Just all the terrible things you have to do to get rid of Bobby Kotick because he's not a person.
Yeah, exactly. Embracer has said that the recent acquisition of the Square Enix studios is going to bring forth some remakes, some remasters, as well as sequels. So that bodes well for...
It's almost like I called it.
Man, if they put out a Legacy of Kain collection, I'm going to be so excited.
Dude, this is the same people who like Darksiders 1 and 2. Like...
And gave them funky names.
And then they're like, yeah, War Mastered. Definitive. And then they're like, and fucking Darksiders 3. Also, here's a spin-off. And you're just like, what?
Dude, give me all of the cool, like, 360 era and Xbox PS2 era games from those companies. I want them all.
Fucking give me that B-tier video game.
Embracer, man. I'm down
Embracer, like, just fucking give me that B tier. Bring back the bargain games. That weird shit. That, like, I'm like, why would this exist? And then you play it and you're like, this is some weird shit.
Bring back Wet.
But it's pretty good. Bring back Wet.
Do you remember Wet?
I mean, yes, the weird Bethesda game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Bethesda would own that, though.
Yeah, but that's okay. Just bring shit like that back.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 have rumored next-gen versions in development. That's just a rumor. Insomniac has donated $50,000, which Sony matched after Jim Ryan's comments on abortion. Also, Bungie spoke out and said, we will not be muzzled in this, because they're one of the only game companies that put out a statement. So
good for them.
Sony president also mentions wanting to be more multi-platform, which I'm assuming just means day-and-date PC releases. So, Sony also, more Sony news, Last of Us remake, again, being confirmed, probably releasing this year.
Fucking why?
Nobody knows why, other than it'll make money.
Pedro Pascal is the...
Give a Pedro Pascal skin for pre-ordering?
He is the one that's playing Joel, right?
Yes.
Okay. What a weird fucking show that's gonna be.
Hey! Remember Fall Guys? That game came out like 2 years ago. It's finally coming to Switch and Xbox, and it's going free to play.
Like, fucking shut up.
Yeah, except 2 years late. I felt like that game had a run for like 3 months, and then nobody talked about it ever again. Speaking of games that have not been on Xbox yet, Final Fantasy VII's 25th anniversary is next month, and they said they're going to have some announcements.
They take the rest. They take a hard drive that has the rest of Final Fantasy VII Remake on stage, and they just put it through a wood chipper.
So let me ask you the question.
Or no, it's the Xbox build.
Yeah, the Xbox build gets. Do you think this game actually does come out on Xbox?
No. No.
So you think this is going to stay exclusive? Do you think they announce part 2?
Also no. Or do I think they announce it? I think they announce it and give it some stupid title, but you see none of it, and that's it.
No, you see like a screen that plays like a song you remember.
And it's like a render of a character for like 4 seconds.
Yeah, you get some more Red 13 in there, some Kite Sith or something, you know.
Yeah, it'll be the full movie animation and then nothing else. No gameplay.
And people will go nuts.
It won't give you enough. It won't give you enough to know where we are in the story.
I know what it is. It's going to play a song, and it's going to be that Tifa statue, like a 360-degree view. That's what's going to happen.
And then, but it's like that doesn't get leaked out to the public. It's this is my comedy goal. And as that's rotating around, so you see the backside, somebody stands up in front of the person that's illegally recording it. So it's just blocked out.
Oh my god! They're going to bend you over so hard.
So you can just hear the crowd go, You
know what I really think? You know what I really think is going to happen? I think they're going to announce
more statues.
Final Fantasy VII Part 1 Super Remake with everything included, and you can buy it for $70.
Thanks, I hate it.
Nothing new, just everything on one download, because you know that makes a difference. All right. So Jeff Grubby Grub went into detail a little bit on the Silent Hill games in development. So I can't get it straight. Like he said, there might be 4, but there's at least 3. One of them is the Bloober remake of 2.
Can I just?
What?
That sounds fucking terrible.
Bloober remaking 2?
Listen, fucking... Yes, it sounds bad.
One of them is a narrative game from Annapurna. And the third one...
but I don't know why Bloober wouldn't just do a narrative game.
Yeah, that makes more sense than them doing a remake of 2. But then the third game is the new game in the series, so Silent Hill 5, being made by a Japanese studio. Don't know which one, though.
This all sounds kind of stupid and bad.
He also said there may be a mobile game and even a TV show. Apparently Konami
I'm not
is really
surprised
going
by that, really.
Yeah, Konami's really going to go back in hard on Silent Hill, according to the reporting.
Well, they fucking listen. They'll make money. You'll buy it. It'll be bad. Metal Gear Survive.
Speaking of Silent Hill, Konami, PT, let's talk about Norman Reedus.
I was gonna say, please tell me they're doing more skateboards, but okay.
Norman Reedus apparently confirmed in an interview that they're working on Death Stranding 2. He just fucking said, he's like, yeah, we just started on the second one.
Okay, so What the fuck do you think this is then?
Dude, I don't know. What
You know why I'm asking, right? Because it kind of fucking has a good ending.
Yeah, like it's done. Like, what is it? Just I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who hasn't beat it, but like, is this a prequel maybe? Because why would you keep going after that?
I hope it's not a prequel. That would be dumb.
Dude, I don't know. I'll play it. I don't give a shit what
This sounds like a bad idea, and like, I don't know. Listen, it's Kojima, so maybe he'll be like, it'll be something super weird.
I'm down for that. Just make it fucking weird.
It's just like, I don't know. It wrapped itself up so well, and it's like,
what if it's just a simulation of you playing
what if
as
it's
the
a
baby?
Well, oh god, it's like, what if?
What if it's a Jeff Keighley simulator? Like, you could see what Keighley was doing in his bunker the whole time.
It's filled with Doritos
and Mountain Dew.
Of course, and he's like the vault ruler. You know, like in Fallout, how they have the leader of every vault.
Yeah.
But he's got the Doritos Pope hat on. It's just a bag of Doritos upside down that's been emptied on his head.
Whenever he walks into a new room, it just goes, world premiere.
And they all clap, and it's just, if they clap too long, there's too much fucking Dorito dust.
Yeah. I don't know if you follow his Twitter, but like every painting in his house is just two big eyeballs.
I'm sorry, what?
Like, he always tweets just like two big eyeballs, like, oh my god, eyeballs. Like, he just tweets that all the time.
Yeah. That fucking emoji. Look at this. I have. Thank you.
Alright, one more story before we go deep into the PlayStation stuff, because I got a few things about that. This was the story that broke the fanboys this week. Xbox Series S outsold PS5 in Japan last week. That hasn't happened in 10 years.
Alright.
It's exciting that Xbox is selling well in Japan, but boy, did this spark conversations among the fanboys. They were very angry. I'm like, whew, y'all need to calm down. Also, I don't know if you noticed this on your timeline. I know your timeline is much smaller than mine. I saw a bunch of people, and I don't know if this is my, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a minute. I saw a bunch of big not necessarily big, but like a bunch of people that, you know, the blue checkmark people, basically, talking about how they were going to cancel their Game Pass this week. And I don't know if that's like a marketing thing, or I also don't believe they're canceling their Game Pass, because who in this industry doesn't have like 2 years of this shit backed up from buying cards over the past 2 years? So like, how do you, like, even if you cancel it now, it doesn't cancel till like August of like 2024 or something? So I don't know.
That's weird. I don't know what to say to that.
I just saw like multiple people tweeting like, I'm canceling my Game Pass. And obviously it's because of the Starfield Redfall news. But I'm like, why are you subscribed to it now?
Now, yeah, I don't know.
When Starfield wasn't due until November.
I feel like this is more of the, I'm going to boycott said thing. Sure you are.
Dude, if I canceled Game Pass, it wouldn't cancel till August of 2023, so what good would it do me to cancel it?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like another one of those, like, alright.
Yeah, I'm just like, cool, thanks for letting me know.
Also, don't need to know that. Like, I'm canceling Netflix, okay?
Yeah, I don't care if you cancel Netflix. That's
like, if it comes up in the course of conversation, fine. But like, I don't know. It's the act. It's like telling people I'm going to take a poop. Like nobody wants.
I put out a press release for my poop this morning. I don't know if you got it.
Coming up on Switch.
It's having a little trouble. All right, let's talk about PlayStation PP. It's my new favorite thing is PlayStation PP.
PP.
All right, so we got some details about the service. I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the Ubisoft thing. So
would
Ubisoft.
Would you like the PP with the back catalog?
That's right, the PP, the back catalog PP. So Ubisoft Plus is coming to PlayStation. but there is a side service called Ubisoft Plus Classics that will be included with PlayStation PP. And that includes games like... It was funny because they called it Ubisoft Plus Classics, but it's got God of War Ragnarok. Isn't that like their most recent game? So, like, what isn't included in Ubisoft Classics? I found that a little weird. Also confirmed by Sony Bin Studios, PlayStation 1 games are going to have trophy support, at least some of them. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm excited to platinum Jumping Flash. I don't know about you.
Yeah, hey, I think I have that digitally, so I can just download it. Yeah.
Yep, me too. I have a bunch of digital games, so
this is where like, and the going back kind of the Sly Cooper one sucks because there's really nothing special to do. But these are the type of like, I'm interested to see what you add because this is an old game. And you're adding achievements and trophies to it. So what are you going to pick out as things to do? Is it just going to be do the things in the game? Because that's what Sly has done. And that's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to be like, this is a known thing that we could do in this game at one point. Why don't we have players do that same thing?
Dude, if there's not a trophy in the original siphon filter for electrocuting somebody to dust with the taser... Yeah. You fucked up. I'm sorry, you fucked up. I
would have one just to have, like, rotate the whole body around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make him do 300 circles or something.
Yeah, something stupid. And it's like, yeah, I would love to see, trophies like that.
Alright, I have a list of all the games coming. I don't think we need to go through all of these. So they gave a list of PS4...
You want to send me that? Quickly?
Yeah, let me grab the URL.
Just so I can look at it too. That way if you don't call something out and I see it and I'm like, oh, but that's good.
Alright, so they have a whole list of PS4 and PS5 games. They have them broken out by PlayStation Studios and then by third-party partners. So worth noting in the PlayStation PP, you're getting stuff like Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. What else we got on here? Wipeout Omega Collection, that's a good one. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. Lost Legacy and Thief's End. Medieval. So lots of first-party games. God of War, Gravity Rush.
The Last Guardian.
Death Stranding Director's Cut, that's a pretty good one.
You get both Gravity Rush games. That's pretty fucking awesome.
You get Demon's Souls, the new remake for PS5.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's good stuff in here. Absolutely, but you're not getting like Horizon 2. You're not getting Gran Turismo 7,
No, but you know what? The fact that these are in here is a lot bigger, way better step than their stupid streaming service that they have currently.
Third-party stuff, a lot of this stuff is, you'll feel like you've heard it before, but it's pretty straightforward. Like Mortal Kombat 11, Guardians of the Galaxy, Far Cry 4, Final Fantasy 15, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a pretty good get. Weirdly, Resident Evil, the remake for PS4 is in here, but no other Resident Evils. That's kind of weird. Soul Calibur 6, nothing crazy, but, you get the idea. Yeah. PlayStation 3 games, again, it's streaming, and it's weird because this list, if you have PlayStation Now, this is actually a much smaller list than what is currently available. So
I'm going to tell you right now, playing Asura's Wrath fucking streaming sounds like a nightmare.
Playing a lot of these games streaming is a fucking nightmare. But let's talk about the thing that you and I are probably the most interested in. That is the classic game catalog.
Yeah, that aren't streaming.
So the PlayStation 2 games are all the PS2 to PS4 games.
And not all the PS2 to PS4 stuff.
Yeah, but they're not actually putting any new PS2 games on there.
Correct.
Which sucks.
Currently. Maybe they'll change that in the future.
I hope so.
Dark Cloud 1 and 2.
Those are good games.
All the Jack games except for that one PSP game that I was talking about earlier. Siren. Listen, I own most of these. Like, I own Ape Escape 2 on PS4. I own both Dark Clouds. I own all the Jack games. I own Rogue's Galaxy. Like, they're fantastic. They're worth owning. Fantavision needs to just disappear, for the love of God. When we were talking about, like, fucking the, tech demo type shit, Fantavision is what I mean. Like,
it literally was a tech demo that they turned into a game. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it is not a... Nobody is, like, fond for Fantavision. Alright, enough of it. Anyways, we want to talk about the PS.
Yeah, let's talk about the Ps1 Slash Psp games, and I'm just going to list them all because there's only 10.
Can I just say that, and there's only one fucking PSP game.
Yeah, one PSP game. There's only 10 total, so there's 9 original PlayStation games, of which 2 of them are fucking Worms games. So, Worms World Party, Worms Armageddon, Tekken...
Now, is World Party a normal Worms game?
I do not know. You will have to look into
let me just do a quick...
then Mr. Driller and Tekken 2. So those are the 4 third-party games.
The answer is, it is absolutely another Worms game. So there's 2 Worms games. Hey, Mr. Driller's good, but there's apparently the better versions available for purchase. Why Tekken 2?
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like, why not Tekken 3?
Or, and this is just a crazy idea, why don't we work on getting Tekken 5, which has Tekken 1, 2, and 3 in it?
Tekken 5 was only on PS3.
PS2.
PS2?
PS2.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so. Hold on. Wait. You might be right.
I don't remember the Tekken... I remember 1, 2, and 3.
No, Tekken 5 is PS2. Yes.
Okay. So 4 and 5 were PS2, 6 was PS3, and then 7 was PS4.
Right.
Okay. Alright. The first party games, we get Ape Escape.
Cool. That means you get Ape Escape 1 and 2. Why not 3? Like, where's 3?
What about the one where they steal the pants?
Is that the Locked and Loaded?
I don't remember. In Japan, it was called, like, Pants Stealer or something. I don't remember.
Alright.
Hot Shots Golf, the first one.
Okay.
Intelligent Cube, which I still love that game.
Not a bad game. Weird one that they keep bringing up.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes more sense than Fantavision.
Jumping Flash. Yeah,
VR,
baby.
Please add a VR mode to Jumping Flash. Thank you very much.
Just give me trophies and I'll play fucking Jumping Flash.
Just give me a new Jumping Flash in VR.
I love Jumping Flash.
Where you would actually have to look down to see where you're landing.
That'd be so cool. It'd probably make you sick, too.
Oh, there's no other reason why I want to play it in VR other than to make me sick. You know what? How about this? Have it so you actually have to crouch, and then you push up, and then when you land, you need to crouch again.
Oh dude, I'll vomit all over the place.
Give me that fucking vomit-worthy experience, please, and thank you.
Siphon Filter, the first one.
I think I've only ever played around with the taser and Siphon Filter.
The first one is a little rough.
I have them all on my PS3.
Siphon Filter 3 is legitimately an incredible game. That's another series where they did a bunch of PSP shit, put it on PS2, and that's where those games died. And it's like, no, they made one mainline PS2 game.
No, but what I'm saying is like they've made 2 PSP titles, and they ported them both to PS2. I'm almost certain.
What was the PS2 game called? Oh, I used to play the shit out of that one.
Omega Strain?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Okay. And then it was Dark Mirror and Logan's Shadow, and I'm pretty sure both of them were PSP and then reported to PS2, and it's like, those games died there. Bring them all back.
God, they made Siphon Filter Combat Ops. What the hell is
that?
Also,
weird call here. Just realized, no SOCOM.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's an online game. They'd have to do some more stuff for that. Also, that's PS2, so...
It still doesn't matter. So they have PS2 in here.
They have PS2 to PS4. They don't have any native PS2 games.
I don't give a shit. They know what they've done.
And then one PSP
didn't
game, you get Super Stardust Portable.
That irritates me that this is the only PSP game.
They have to be working something to where once a month they're going to do a new drop of these, because there's no way this is all they're going to drop for like 6 months, right? They can't Nintendo this. There's no way.
No.
They can't. People will cancel this shit so fast if they only drop 10 PS Classic games this year. Alright, then if you care, the time-limited game trials. You're getting Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077, Farming Simulator 22, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and WWE 2K22. Now, we get into kind of the details down at the bottom. A monthly refresh will occur on the first Tuesday of the month for PlayStation Plus Essential, which is PS4 and PS5 games added to the service. On Premium and Deluxe, an additional monthly refresh will occur in the middle of the month with new games across both plans. The number of games refreshed will vary per month. Also, they have put in here down in the bottom, like in the minimal text down at the bottom, that the PlayStation 1 games will also, obviously we know they're getting trophies, but some of them may have like the rewind features and things like that. So, pretty standard stuff there. I'm excited to play around with this, but I really hope the monthly refreshes are good, because right now they look kind of bad. So.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't know.
I've got it for 2 years because I bought some PlayStation Now time. So.
Yeah, I'm in zero rush. I have most of this stuff on a PS3.
I really hope that when this launches, those because you'll be able to download them if you own them. I hope that's available day one, because I would love
me too
to see this stuff show back up on the store, because there's just something about backwards compatible and older games being on a current store that just really tickles me. I don't know what it is.
It's fun being able to relive magic.
I do it all the time.
Nostalgia is a drug. Yes, but with new things, in a better way.
It's always exciting, like when I boot up an original Xbox game on my Series X and it loads super fast, and it's so neat. All right, that's all I got for news, unless you have anything else. I do have one email for 700, but I'm thinking about holding it till next week until more people are here. I think maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's just two of us. Unless that's literally a thing that says, fuck those two guys, in which case that email is spot on.
No, it's Eeyore Kara, so I want to hold it for
next week. Yeah. For next week when the actual 700 happens.
Yeah, this is 700, the prequel.
Yeah, this is the 700, the prequel. You only get this show for a week before we delete it again.
Yeah. Well, this episode will actually be deleted next week. It'll just disappear.
And then it was 700, and we'll just say this never existed.
Yeah. You didn't listen to this. This will be the limit. This is the NFT episode. You only get it once, and then it's gone. Wait, that's not what an NFT is. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You mentioned NFT, my eyes glaze over, just like, when they start talking. You know what? All I need is fucking 100 NFTs drop into an island to do a hero-based shooter. My brain just shuts off.
I will tell you an interesting interaction I had this week. So, I've been talking about that Zero Tolerance collection that's coming. So I just, off the cuff, just tweeted at Qbyte Interactive, because they follow me on Twitter, and I said, yo, when am I going to get this? They actually responded.
Ever.
And they basically told me that they would send me a code for it when it was available, and that it's coming to Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Xbox One / Series X. So, yep, they actually reached out to me via DM and said that they'll send me a code for it when it becomes available. I thought that was funny. I was like, I have a need. I need this game. I need to play this. It's kind of important to my legacy. I played the original Genesis version recently.
I mean, it's a Genesis first-person shooter. What the fuck do you want?
I know, but like, you remember, like, it's only like a quarter of the screen? Because the bottom of the screen is like your picture.
But I mean, yeah, I know, but like that, again, like, they could only make that game run in that corner of the screen is most likely the problem.
Man, that game. You know what the story was why I played that game, why I was so interested in that game, was because I didn't have a computer to play Doom back in the day.
Yeah.
They didn't put Doom on the Super Nintendo for a long time, not till after the Super FX chip came out.
FX chip, yeah.
It was the Super FX chip 2 for Doom, wasn't it?
No. The Super FX 2 was only used on Yoshi's Island.
That's right. So Zero Tolerance came out in 1994. And then Doom for the SNES.
I just can't believe that they had like a sequel and they're putting all this shit into the new bundle. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of insane.
I'll be down for that. Yeah, the Super Nintendo version of Doom came out in 95, so it was a year later. The Super Nintendo version of Doom is not bad.
Yeah.
It's missing some
I mean,
levels,
they're not,
but...
I think all of them were, because they're all based off of the Jaguar version.
Nothing beats the 32X version, though. I'm sure I've told this story on the show before, but when you beat it, it just goes to a C prompt.
What?
Yeah, when you beat it, it just goes to a C prompt. Then you have to reset.
You program?
Yeah, and you have to reset the Genesis.
You can't use the Genesis to like program into C.
That'd be cool, man.
Break down.
Yeah.
Fucking program your own game. Fucking put controller inputs for 7,000 days. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was, Doom for the 32X was what, 1/35th of the 32X library? How many 32X games are there? There's 40, so it's 1/40th.
Too many 32X games, because there shouldn't be a 32X.
Motherfucker, I love that 32X.
Oh, piece of shit.
I tried to pre-order Mortal Kombat 3 on the 32X. When they first announced it was coming to home consoles, I was like, I need to pre-order the 32X, because the 32X version of 2 was like the best home port at the time. But, we all saw how that happened. What was funny is I got laughed out of the store when I asked to pre-order the 32X version.
As you should have been. Did I order the 32X version? What? No, get the fuck out.
Hey, they looked at me just as funny when I said I wanted to pre-order the PlayStation version, just FYI.
I was gonna say that they then turn around and continue playing on the CDI kiosk.
Yeah. No, when I went in to do the PlayStation pre-order, they laughed at me too. They're like, Sony, whatever. I was like, y'all motherfuckers don't know. Like, you know who used to make fun of me in high school? Because I was...
Hopefully everybody.
Well, obviously everybody. But for wanting a PlayStation instead of an N64. You know who? It was Jason.
Who?
It was Gambro.
Oh, no.
He used to make fun of me all the time. He's like, why are you buying that? He's like, why don't you just wait for the Nintendo 64?
What's up?
What's up? Probably his voice was a little bit higher, but no, I don't know. I don't know. That dude in high school still grew a beard like fucking Grizzly Adams. I'm not gonna lie. So.
Just picturing him with like an extra high squeaky voice. Sup? Greetings, programs.
I mean, his voice was a little bit higher back then, but still.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I remember all my friends at work were making fun of me because I bought a PS4 and not an Xbox One, and I was like,
That's a weird flex.
You really gonna have that conversation with me? Like, oh, okay.
I mean, I remember when they came out, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I went to both launches, and both of them were about the same amount of people.
Right, but it was just like, I'm like, the console that we have in stock. You're making fun of me for not buying one of those. Okay. And like
people.
I don't know what to say to you, but that's a dumb fucking statement to make. People are weird because to me it's like I didn't have any specific reason to buy an Xbox One at the time, and I wanted to play certain things on PS4. But when Rare Replay came out, I wanted an Xbox One, so I bought one. And honestly, like, even though I can't find either of the consoles right now still on store shelves, not that I'm looking necessarily, but I haven't seen any. There's nothing I necessarily like want to play still on these new consoles. Like, nothing that I can't just play right now.
Yeah, I can't think of a lot of strictly next-gen games that, like, it's weird to be this far in and not necessarily have to have one. Like, basically these new consoles are just so you can play your games better. Yeah,
and it's like, alright, well, I'm fucking playing Sly Cooper,
Starfield will probably be one of the first ones. I know Demon Souls. PlayStation doesn't have a PS5 only game for a while. They did Demon Souls and Ratchet and Clank, and that's been no return.
And like, while I want to play Ratchet and Clank, I don't think I ever finished like the last two on PS3. A Crack in Time or the Into the Nexus. My dad took those and fucking played them, and I was just like, all right.
Yeah, I think Starfield might be the first big game that you'd have to buy a new machine to play.
And I just don't care.
And a lot of people are
like I'm excited to see what it is. But it's gonna be a Bethesda game, so I'll give it a year.
Yeah, in a year it should be a lot better.
Oh, after all the fan patches have made them realize how their error is happening. And then they do the official patch, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right, though. There's not... Like, if I wasn't just having to have new machines, I wouldn't tell anybody they need to have either one of these right now, truthfully.
And there are, like, a couple... Like, I would love to play Ghostwire. That seems interesting. But it's not like I need to play that at all.
Yeah, I think that's a game that you'd be better off playing on Game Pass when it comes out. I don't think it's worth $60.
And like, Deathloop. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to play that, but like, again, not a console seller for me.
No, Deathloop is definitely not a console seller. That's another perfect Game Pass game.
And like, to be fair, I didn't have a PS4 right away because I just. A, we couldn't get one, but B, like, when I could, like, my dad wanted it. I was like, I don't give a shit. And then, I wanted it for, like, Watch Dogs, which I know came out on PS3, so, at the end of the day...
Man, have you ever played that version? I bet it's bad.
So, I have played a bit of the Wii U version, and I'm gonna be honest with you... Outside of graphics, there isn't a huge difference. It's weird differences. Like, not as many cars, sort of thing, but like not... Overall, the game is still the same. The best one of all those weird carryovers is probably Wolfenstein. I've never played it, but I've watched footage of the 360 version compared to the like PS4 Xbox One version, and like, holy shit, that is some weird magic they're pulling off on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens when you're good with the machine.
But there's a couple of games, like there's The Evil Within on PS3.
Oh my god, I forgot that came out there.
I don't even know how that looks. There was the weird 360 version of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I remember that. It's actually pretty good.
Okay, there was Forza Horizon 2 on 360, which is a very different game. Because everything is, like, walled off. So you can't just drive through fields and everything.
Horizon 2?
Forza Horizon 2 has a
That's right.
weird 360 port.
I never played the 360 port.
Neither did I. I looked it up and was like, I just gave the code to somebody else. Because they like had bought a 360 for their kid, and I'm like, here you go. Here's a racing game. God, what was the other one? And then the big one that everybody kind of knows about is the Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah,
which
without the
lacked
Nemesis
the
system.
So, yeah, there's some weird crossover stuff.
It's not
I'm glad
like that.
that's gone.
Yeah, it's not like that this gen. Like the games are just a little.
I mean, it's the to switch port.
Yeah.
Is where you see those type of things happen. But even those are better than
some of them are.
Okay, for the most part. Like
you have clearly not
even,
played Ark Survival Evolved on the Nintendo Switch.
Alright, well, Ark Survival Evolved is a bad game anyway, so...
Yeah, but at least it doesn't run like it does like an N64 game on current console.
I love Turok. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, well, the Turok was better
and the
than
bad
this.
graphic. Yeah, I know. That's the first thing I could think of when I saw that video footage.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
God. I love it.
And they're bringing No
So
Man's
bad.
Sky to the Switch. I'll be very interested to see how that pans out.
Yeah, because I don't know how that actually works. I don't know how much of it's online or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. But No Man's Sky on the Switch, that'd be one I want to see a Digital Foundry on.
I mean, the graphics aren't like...
No, but it's like these
crazy,
worlds are
but-
huge.
so that's where it starts to become like, how much can this dump and like, how much can this put into memory and then dump from memory consistently?
You know what game I'd love to see on the Switch? It's Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I don't want to see that game on anything. So
I mean, it's a very pretty game.
that's all it is. It's so boring. I'm sorry. There's some people that really love flight simulators, my grandfather included, but like, man, I'd just fly a plane if I wanted to fly a plane. You
I
know?
still want to see it running native on the Switch.
Have you? Okay, so there's a recent thing. It's a fan-made port of fucking Super Mario Galaxy to like 3DS. Or DS, one of the two. And it's fucking insane.
People do insane
Like-
shit, man.
Yeah, I love that type of crap.
There's a lot of those. There's the PS1 version of Bloodborne out there.
Did you see? I'm pretty sure that dev is now making Bloodborne cart.
Yeah, Bloodborne cart. Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, like that stuff's cool.
More shit like that, and then remove the license and just sell it to me. Cool, thanks.
Mhm. I pay for
I
it.
want to make a Ratchet and Clank game. You do that. You make a demake, you make your Ratchet and Clank game, then you take out Ratchet and Clank and all the other licensed stuff and make it your own and be like, this was originally a Ratchet and Clank thing, but I can't sell that, so here you go. And I'll play it. I'll buy it. Give me that good shit.
All right.
This podcast has had zero energy, and I'm sorry.
I feel you. I'm the same way. I think we're good for this episode. We'll be back next
All right,
week.
it's just-
If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at
Why would
N4G Podcast. Anthony's a complacent robot. I'm at ZTGD. You can follow the site at ZTGD Content and shoot us emails to podcasts@ztgd.com. Be sure you subscribe to us on all the famous podcast channels. We're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes. We're on Google Music Play, whatever that thing is called. I don't know. Or, just check us out on YouTube. You can watch the video there as well. Phoenix Down, weirdly enough, Drew said they were recording tonight, which is weird. For
Well,
AI.
he can't be on the show, but he can record tonight, bastard.
Yeah, that's what I said when he was like, I'm recording Phoenix Down tonight. And I was like, well, you going to be on this show? He's like, no. I'm like, you dick. Let's get your priorities straight, son. This is the show right here. This is the bad show. But anyway, AI the Insomnia Files coming out this week, so check that out. Otherwise, we can get out of here. We're almost in June. Can you believe the year's halfway over already? It's crazy.
No, I cannot.
Oh my god, it's crazy. My God. Alright, there's nothing else we got in peace, motherfucker bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast.
It's me, Mario.
$0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gaviscon.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I always live being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.